coming up on this edition of Southwest TV News. Residents of Southwest Saskatchewan had the chance to participate in a 4-day hockey festival as Swift Current hosted the 2019 edition of Hockey Day in Canada.
The intent was to raise, as I said, about $800 to $2 million for the hall.
Now in 2019, the museum has a new name, thanks to a generous donation of $500,000 by the family of the late Ted Knight. When a health emergency occurs, timing can mean the difference between life and death. And residents of Southwest Saskatchewan now have quicker access to critical care with a new helipad at the Cypress Regional Hospital in Swift Current. Thanks for joining us here today. Swift Current and the surrounding area were in the national spotlight during the Hockey Day in Canada festivities. We bring you some of those highlights in our top story. Residents of Southwest Saskatchewan had the chance to participate in a 4-day hockey festival as Swift Current hosted the 2019 edition of Hockey Day in Canada. The excitement kicked off with the music of Hockey Day, hosted by Ron McLean at the Living Sky Event Center. The evening's lineup included various musical entertainment, from on-air personality Tara Sloan to the Swift Current Comprehensive High School's Chamber Choir, who entertained the crowd with a Guess Who classic. An opportunity which these high school students were eager to be a part of.
It's exciting, I feel like this year's been a really good year for our music department this year. With the musical, and now we get to do this, which is pretty fun.
Chamber Sings mostly sings classical, usually Renaissance type music, so this is definitely a step out of our comfort zone, but I think we've got it together pretty good and are excited for tonight.
The following day saw former NHL player Sheldon Kennedy being recognized for his efforts with the Safe Places program, as the city of Swift Current named the Riverdene Park Arena in his honor, an acknowledgement which Sheldon was surprised by.
It's an honor, I think. Sometimes I did things in my life that I thought were right and I thought were important. And I think that it was because I kept hearing stories and stories and stories of people that had went through what I went through, and that's what kept me going. And now you're seeing a park and a rink, bearing your name, and it just means a lot, because I think when I first told my story, it wasn't real popular. Nobody really wanted to talk about the issues that Sheldon Kennedy represents, and now I think people are finally realizing that this is important, and we need to take a stand, and it's really very impactful on our kids and our communities when we're not putting this at the forefront. So that's what really I think has made me emotional with this.
A memorable moment for Sheldon Kennedy and the city of Swift Current as it honors the former Bronco player, while emphasizing the importance of a safe place for all residents.
The fact that we've got 1,600 people registered right here in Swift Current is a testament to that, and we're seeing other communities ask to be a part of it as well. It's a program that we believe works, and it gets people accredited and vetted and properly ready to be able to work with youth in our community.
Sheldon Kennedy then hit the ice to drop the puck with Ron McLean, opening the Sheldon Kennedy Youth Outdoor Classic, which would see rising stars participate in through the weekend. And hockey fans packed the stockade for the Scotiabank Hockey Day in Canada banquet, where Don Cherry and Ron McLean entertained the crowd with stories of hockey and their love of the game, while Swift Current Minor Hockey was presented with a check for $15,000 to help keep the dreams of young stars moving forward on the ice. The remainder of the hockey festival included an NHL alumni game at the iPlex, featuring such greats as Lanny McDonald and Wendell Clark. Hockey Day in Canada culminated on Saturday at Riverdene Park. As work crews braved the cold for final preparations, crowds gathered awaiting the arrival of the Stanley Cup. Hockey fans of all ages met one-on-one with their hockey heroes for commemorative photos, while the Snowbirds kicked off the Hockey Day in Canada national broadcast with a quick fly over the crowd at Riverdene Park. A fun-filled day of hockey and other festivities, which showcased the sense of community here in the Southwest and the love of hockey. Further adding to the portfolio of stories, which broadcaster Ron McLean will carry with him to his next stop, as he looks forward to meeting the community members along the way.
you take all that work back to Hockey Night in Canada. Every playoff game last year, it seemed we had a story that was born of the meet and greet at the Hometown Hockey Tour. We were Vegas, big surprise, right? Making the Stanley Cup final. We were in George McPhee's Guelph, and we were in Gerard Gallant's Summerside, and you just can't put a price on what that is to added value on our broadcast. And you know, to have Dennis and Jeanette Marlowe come up when we were here the last time from Aneroid, it means a lot. It just means you're in it together.
And as the 2019 Hockey Day in Canada festivities live on in the hearts of local hockey fans, a special memento was captured by Toronto artist David Arrigo. Arrigo was busy over the 4 days, painting a Hockey Day in Canada mural at the iPlex.
And the great thing about this piece this year was what we did was we took the social media and you hashtag Hockey Day, and people would send in their favorite memories as growing up with hockey. So for example, you had your first pair of skates or skating on Lake Louise, and we sort of encompassed that onto the mural and took all these different moments and celebrated from there.
The Hockey Day in Canada mural from Swift Current will now be on display at the Canadian Hockey Hall of Fame for the next year, at which time it will then return to its home at the Credit Union iPlex in Swift Current. Thanks to a major donation, the Saskatchewan Hockey Hall of Fame has a brand new name. We find out what that is in this report. The Saskatchewan Hockey Hall of Fame opened its doors in Swift Current in 2012, offering a historical perspective of the sport in the province, while spotlighting the numerous hockey legends who have taken to the ice over the years. Now in 2019, the museum has a new name, thanks to a generous donation of $500,000 by the family of the late Ted Knight. Knight was involved in numerous aspects of hockey over the years, including co-ownership of the Regina Pats. And now his love for the game will continue through the Ted Knight Saskatchewan Hockey Hall of Fame.
My father, as Blair mentioned earlier, grew up with humble beginnings, and the one thing that he really enjoyed doing as a child was playing hockey. And his future success in business, he always spoke highly of his time in organized sports, most notably hockey. And it was always a passion of his. He went on to win a Memorial Cup. He's in the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame. Later owned the Pats, and as he went on in business, hockey was always very special to him. So that's the reason we chose this in his honor.
A major endowment, which will help the board achieve numerous goals and other outreach programs surrounding the sport of hockey and its history in Saskatchewan.
So we started this campaign about a year and a half ago. It was called the Legends of Hockey, or Legends Live Here campaign. The intent was to raise, as I said, about $800 to $2 million for the hall, to pay off the capital costs that we still have outstanding, as well as to create a capital fund for future years. Because the hall actually operates based on the dinner that we have every year. That's our capital fund plus money that we actually get from SHA, which is a little bit of money. So we needed the cash in our pockets. We have some plans. We'd like to do some mobile displays that we can take around the province, that type of thing. So if we can get that done with these funds, that would be great. Part of it's going to be, we have some still liabilities outstanding. The city of Swift Current has helped us build this project, so we want to make sure they're looked after. And then we've got other projects that we will use going forward to continue to build. We can't actually make the place bigger, but there are things that we can do within the building, such as improving some of these areas and putting more displays up. So that's the plan.
The next big event for the organization is the annual fundraising and Hall of Fame induction dinner, which is set for July in Saskatoon. The Ted Knight Saskatchewan Hockey Hall of Fame is located in Swift Current at the Credit Union iPlex. For more information or hours of operation, log on to their website. Swift Current's Helipad has been operational for several months now and was officially opened by provincial health officials here in Swift Current. When a health emergency occurs, timing can mean the difference between life and death. And residents of Southwest Saskatchewan now have quicker access to critical care with a new helipad at the Cypress Regional Hospital in Swift Current. The certified helipad has been operational in Swift Current for several months and was officially opened recently by provincial and local delegates. The province of Saskatchewan invested $342,000 for the new helipad and joins other sites in the province, offering quicker access to stars.
Yeah, there's a number throughout the province right now. The most namely ones are in the tertiary centers, Regina and Saskatoon. We do have them spread out across the province right now, and in other areas that don't have operating helipads are using temporary facilities, but there's a few others in the planning stages.
And for emergency room personnel, the new helipad is a great benefit to patients requiring life-saving surgeries and other treatments.
We need to send someone out to our tertiary centers, Regina or Saskatoon. People are in very grave conditions. We need them to be out immediately and get as soon as possible to a place where they can get the care they really need. So what we had been doing due to transport regulations was having to take patients out by ambulance to the airport and then start meeting us, which just makes us lose precious moments that we need. So the fact that STARS can come directly to the hospital, roll right into our ambulance bay and be able to help us to stabilize the patient that much sooner means so much in those times when moments really do matter.
Helipads are now in place at hospitals in Swift Current, Regina, Saskatoon, Moose Jaw, Lloydminster, and Estevan. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at southwesttvnews.com. And be sure to follow us on a range of social media. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.